Hey everyone, welcome back for another workout of the day. Today is a hero WOD for Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day, and thank you to all of our veterans. It is called Jack. It is an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible in 20 minutes. It is 10 push-up, 10 push presses, 10 kettlebell swings, and 10 box jumps. So we're gonna go through all those movements and the modifications, and then you can get started. Okay, so the first movement is going to be our push press. So we can do this several ways. We can start with, we're going to start with the barbell, and you can either start with it on a rack like this, or you can go ahead and clean it up onto your shoulders. Now, a couple important things to recognize when you are doing a movement like a push press, right? We want to make sure if we're using a barbell that we are resting it on our shoulders. We're not holding it here. So if your elbows are down like this, that means you're probably using more energy and muscle to hold it here than necessary. Plus, you're going to take away from that drive up with those legs. So, what we want to do is really push those elbows up and out so that the barbell is resting on top of our shoulders. So, I'm going to go ahead and grab the barbell. And again, it's resting on my shoulders. I could sit here all day. We're going to come down into a quarter squat. So our toes are going to be pointed slightly outward. So our knees go outward into the quarter squat. We have a nice strong core, and we're going to drive really hard with our legs, pushing that barbell up and following through at the top with our head coming through at the top. You notice that my arms are straight. I'm going to come back down, back on my shoulders. And again, we're going to come down into that quarter squat and push really, really hard with our legs to drive the barbell upward and finish with the arm press up and head through at the top. Okay, so if you don't have a barbell, not ready for a barbell, then we're going to use a dumbbell. So we can do it either one dumbbell at a time. And again, we're going to be resting half the dumbbell on that shoulder. And we're going to come down into that quarter squat with our knees out, coming straight down. Our feet are flat on the ground. We're going to drive up. And we're going to press all the way up so that our arm is straight overhead. We don't want it to be out or forward. We want it to be straight so everything is stacked on top of each other. So again, come down into that quarter squat and push up. You can also use 2 dumbbells at one time as well. And again, good strong core, quarter squat, drive up and push straight overhead, coming back down. The other thing we can use is a band if you have a band. So this one, we're not going to do a push press, we're just going to do a press. So we're going to have one foot through the band. We're going to push straight up over top, making sure again we're coming straight. Our arm is all the way straight through, and we're going to press, and you can do 10 on each side. Okay, so the next movement is going to be our kettlebell swing. So we're going to start, we want our feet flat on the ground the whole time. And we want to make sure that when we're coming back, we're hinging at the hips. So we're coming back, hinging at the hips. Our chest is coming slightly forward, but we're staying upright. Our knees are going to be slightly bent when we come back. So reach your butt back towards the wall. And you're going to use the motion to swing up. So just like a swing, we want it to come up like this. We don't want to be coming up and down. So a good test is when we come back to bring the kettlebell back, we want to make sure that the outside of our wrists are touching the inside of our thighs. So if we're touching anywhere above that wrist, that means we're probably doing one or two things. We're either coming down into this squat motion and trying to do this fighting against gravity, or we're coming back too far and that's when we can injure that lower back area. So again, as always, strong core while we're doing this. So this is what it's going to look like with the kettlebell. We're going to bring it back, and we want to come to about eye height, and I'm using my thrust forward with my hips, my glutes, everything is moving the kettlebell upward. I'm not pulling it with my hands. So again, it's called a kettlebell swing because you're swinging the kettlebell up. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can use a dumbbell. And again, it's the same movement, just with the dumbbell instead of a kettlebell. The other thing, if you have a band, you can step on the band, right? We want it to come behind us, and you're going to pull through, and we're going to pull up. Again, we want those glutes squeezed at the top, really using the movement to get glutes and legs there. It's not meant for an arm movement, strengthening movement. Okay. The last movement on this is going to be our box jump. Again, also for modifications, feel free to change weights, lighter or heavier, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, so box jumps, we want to set up at the box. We want to be nice and close, but not too close so that we're hitting our knees when we go to jump. We're going to jump fully and completely onto the box, landing in a quarter squat. You notice my feet are totally on the box. I'm not hanging off the box. And I'm going to stand up at the top, and I can either step down or I can jump down. Modifications, you can lower or higher box. You can also do step ups. So if you're doing a step up, put your foot completely on top of the box first, and you're going to use this leg on the box to step up. And once it's completely straight, that's when you can go ahead, put the other one on and step down and switch legs, making sure that you're not doing one of these. Completely step fully up before you put the other foot on. So if you don't have a box to jump or step onto, you can also do jumping squats. So squat, we want a nice, good, tight core. We want our knees to be coming outward, not forward. Toes slightly pointed outward, staying straight up and down. We're going to come down into a squat and jump like that. And if you're just not ready for that, or your knees are just a little weak, you can just go ahead and do some nice air squats. So that is the workout for the day. It is for 20 minutes, as many rounds as possible of all three of those movements. Make it your own. Good luck. Happy Veterans Day.